Hello dear friend and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for coming back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at how you can be able to install Ubuntu 20.04 on VirtualBox, that is on Windows VirtualBox. So without wasting much time, let us get started. So what I wish you to know is that in this case, I wish you to have, I think you have already VirtualBox installed and you have also downloaded the Ubuntu ISO file, the latest Ubuntu ISO file. For me, for now, I'm using 20.04. So without wasting much time, let us get started. If you have not downloaded, don't worry so much. I will leave the link in the description down below so that you can be able to do that. So for you to be able to install any operating system on VirtualBox, the first thing you need to know is come here and click New. When you click New, you'll be prompted with this kind of window whereby you will be required to enter the name of the operating system, then it will show you the machine folder, then the type, then the version. So for me, I'll type Ubuntu 20.04, which is the version that I'm installing. So this is the directory where it will be installed, or the VirtualBox files where they'll be installed. Another thing is that the type is the Linux and also the version is Ubuntu 64-bit. Then if that is okay with your machine, then you can click Next. So the next case is whereby you are supposed to select the memory size of the RAM of your virtual operating system, which will be installed on the virtual machine. So what you need to do is just use this pointer and slide it in between where it is green and red. This makes sure that the operating system operates at a given space that does not oppress the host operating system, which is Windows, and also which does not oppress the VirtualBox. So then when you select in between here, so for me I have a 4 GB of RAM, so it has divided into two, whereby almost half of it has been taken by the virtual machine and also the half of the other is taken by Windows 10. Then click Next. So here you can just leave it by default, don't just create anything. Then after that, click Next, and this one also leave it as it is, so just click Next. This one, the storage or physical hard disk, just leave it as a dynamic allocated so that it can be able to utilize that one. So here you are supposed to select the location where it will be installed. You can just leave this one as a default. Then down here you are supposed to select the storage size. So at least make sure you have 15 GB of storage. So for me, I'll select 20, which is enough. Then click Create. When you click Create, you realize that on this right hand side, on the left hand side, it will be created here. So most of the time, the mistake that many people make is that they click Start instead of going to Settings first of all. So we have to select Settings. When you select Settings, this will appear, this window will appear. So what you need to do is just come here, General Settings, then come here Advanced. So in this type is whereby you can where I want you to take and be keen on what I'm going to do. So for example, you want to be sharing your document between VirtualBox and also the host operating system, which is maybe Windows. So you need to select by direction. Shared clipboard, you can select by direction. Then drag and drop, also select by directional. When you select those ones, by directional. When you select those ones, then you are good to go. Then the next thing, you can just click OK. After that, go back again to that one. Then the system. So the system, this one is okay, the processor. So by default, one CPU is allocated to the VirtualBox, but if you want to allocate more than one, then you can just slide it here. For me, you can see I have 8 CPUs, so I can just slide it up to the way that I want them. For example, I can have the maximum, which is 4, can divide them to 2, then I then move to the next physical. So this one, just leave it as it is. Then the last step is whereby you come to this storage, where we have storage, then click empty. When you click empty, on this other side, you'll see this small disk over here. So what you need to do, select that disk and then choose undisk file. So what we are doing here is that we are selecting, or we are now loading the ISO file of the operating system that you want to install to this virtual machine. So what you do is just choose the file. When you click choose the file, it will give you an option to just browse the file that you want to install. So for me, I'll just browse the file, that is the Ubuntu file that I want to install, which is this one. Then I click it, then click open. So when you select it, it will just appear here and it will show you that it is about 2.68 GB. Then what you need to do is just click OK. So after you have selected and done all those settings, then the next thing you can do is just select or is just click start. So when you click start, the installation process of the Ubuntu 20.04 will start in the moment. So in just a minute. So this video will prompt up just down here, select the drop down and then select the latest or the ISO file that you have just inserted. Then after clicking that, then click start. So when you click start, it will just start the installation process, and this installation process may take some time to complete. So just take your time. It may take up to 30 minutes sometimes, or even more time. So the next thing is that you can just close these warnings. They are telling you how you can be able, for example, these are auto capture keyboard. It is capturing the keyboard of the host operating system, also the mouse pointer integration. So this one does not really matter to us. So then after you have just started the installation, this is how it will look like. So it will take some time for it to install and complete, but you can just give it time. Don't rush things. And also this will depend on how fast your computer is and how good you are and how fast your hardware or the compatibility of the Ubuntu softwares and all those stuffs are according to your virtual machine. So just give it time and it will be completed in just a moment. So as you can see, the checking the hard disk is almost complete. That is 99% complete. So finished on checking on errors. So now after it has finished checking on errors, then the next thing is that it is supposed to start now. We are supposed now to start the installation process, which we are required now to use the ISO file that we have loaded, and also to use the proper way of installing. So just a minute, then we'll be able to just start that. As you can be able to see now, the process is just starting, whereby the Ubuntu logo is just loading, and also some few other things are running on the background. So now after it has done, it has completed the loading process, then this video will appear, whereby you have two options, that is try Ubuntu or install Ubuntu. So for us, we'll not try because we want to install. So in this case, on the left hand side, you can be able to see several languages, for example, from English to all the languages that are recognized by Ubuntu. So then what you need to do is just select the language that you wish to use. For me, I'll use English. Then click install Ubuntu. When you select install Ubuntu, just give it some few seconds. Then from there, you can be able now to select the keyboard layout. So for me, I'm using the keyboard layout that is English USA. So what I need to do is just click next. So for you, you can be able to browse any keyboard that you wish to use. For me, I'm okay with English. Then I will click continue. After you have selected and continue, give it some few more seconds for it to load to the next place. So in this case, you are supposed to allow to set up the place or the things that you need to do. So for me is that I need to just do the normal installation. And since I'm not connected to the internet, that's why you can be able to see that this option whereby download update while installing Ubuntu is not available. So what I'll do is that maybe I can update it well after I have done with the installations. Then also install third-party softwares for graphics and Wi-Fi, hardware, and additional media factors. So you can select that. Then after you have selected those ones, then just click continue. So after you have clicked continue, just give it again some few seconds for it to move to the next level or to the next step. So in this case, it will give you installation type whereby it says erase disk and Ubuntu, install Ubuntu. So this one is whereby most of the people are confused. Just leave this one as it is. Since we are not installing in the computer itself, we are installing the virtual machine. So this does not affect our operating system. So what you need to do is just click install now. So when you click install now, this process may take in between. So after you have clicked install now, it will give you this option. It will prompt you with this error whereby it says that if you continue, the changes listed below will blah blah blah. So you can be able to read these ones. It is saying just that it will delete all these partitions. So what you need to do is just click continue. As I was saying is that this process can take up to 30 minutes. Sometimes it can take up to 40 minutes or even more. So what you need to do, just take your time and also do your installation slowly and don't be confused about anything. The next thing is that you need to select your location. So for me, I'm in Africa, that is Kenya. I have selected Nairobi, Kenya. So then click continue. So after you have clicked continue, just give it some few seconds for it to start. So the next thing is that you are supposed to enter your name, your computer's name, pick username, choose a password, and all those stuff. So the first thing I need to do is that I need to just have a name. That is GTech. That is the name of the channel. Then your computer's name. So for me, I can delete this VirtualBox and just leave it as GTech. Then the next thing is that I need to choose the password. So I'll just enter a password. I'll enter a password. So for me, is a short password. So you can just make as strong as you wish, but for me, I'll just use that one because it is on my virtual machine and I don't really need to have very strong password, whereas I have just and good security on the other end of my host operating system. So you can just click again continue. After you're done with that, so click continue. When you click continue, give it some few seconds to move to the next step. So now the installation process will start, whereby the first step is copying files. So the process of copying files may take some time. So just give it time and also don't just rush it. So let it just complete slowly. And also as it installs, it will just be displaying some text at the top here, welcome to Ubuntu. Then it will be just displaying several texts here. You can be able to read that if you are not that much busy, but if you are busy, you can just leave it and then come back to check if it has done the installation process. So now after the process of copying is done, the next process is installing system. So this process of installation or installing the operating system may take also some few minutes. Like for example, the process of copying has taken about 15 minutes. So this one may take also about 15 to 20 minutes if all the everything is kept constant. So I don't know, but let us check. So this video may, okay, you may not see all those minutes being captured in this video because of editing, but also I may post this video, the full part of it, so just you can check it out. But this one I'll edit then post it, but also I'll post the unedited version of it. So now after the installation process has been done, you'll be required to restart your machine. This says that installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. So what you need to do is just click restart now. Just click restart now. So the virtual machine will restart, not your actual computer, but now the virtual machine alone will restart so that you can be able now to use the new operating system. So when you click restart now, just give it some few seconds because this is the first time that your virtual machine Ubuntu is restarting. So don't just hurry things up. And again, I said that it depends on how fast your computer is. For me, my machine is somewhat slow. For example, the RAM is 4, the processor is not that big, the CPU. There are so many constraints, but if please you wish to support me, just subscribe and like this video so that many people can be able to watch, and at the end of it I can be able to buy another new machine, or I can be able to upgrade this one that I'm using currently. So sometimes when you restart your machine, that is the Ubuntu that you have installed, you will you'll see this prompt where it says that please remove the installation medium, then press enter. So what you need to do is just navigate back. So I don't know, my machine is hanging. Sorry, can't locate my cursor. So So open File Explorer. So after opening the File Explorer, navigate to where you have the ISO file that you used to install Ubuntu on the virtual machine. So when you locate that ISO file, you can just cut it and move it to a different directory. So I'll just remove it there and maybe paste it here. I'll just put it back after I'm done with the installation process. So after you have now completed the transfer of that file, that ISO file, then move back to your virtual machine. So it says that please remove the installation medium and then press enter. So I'll just press enter. Then now the virtual machine will restart. So this process is taking too long. So but now the installation has been done. So what you need to do next is just restart your machine and enter the password that you used. And after entering the password, then you can be able to use your virtual machine. So thank you so much for watching. Please, I'm sorry for the noise that was in the background, and also I'm very sorry for the ways that things have moved, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. God bless you.